So, welcome everyone to the Wednesday call. I'm so glad you all could be here. We are going to talk about depletion, which is really important today. But before we get started, I just wanted to give a quick update on Kelly. Thank you all. Last week she couldn't be here because she was in a ski accident, and now she is done with her second surgery. She's getting moved home today. So please keep all of the prayers and the Reiki and just the love flowing for her because it's working. Her recovery has been really nothing short of phenomenal. And she's in such high spirits. So thank you all so much. I just wanted to open with that and just send so much gratitude to all of you for supporting her and for all the nice messages and just for all the energetic support. So Kelly and I were talking. I was hoping she could be here today, but she's home, like I said. And oh, let me put this real fast. And we talked about, depletion and how important it is for all of us to replenish ourselves. And I have some ways that you can combat this. But this morning, Charisse reached out and she said she couldn't come, but she wanted to send a question. And usually I wait till the end to share questions, but I want to share this with you. And then I'm really hoping that all of you can kind of give me what you're going through and what you do. So, what Charisse writes is she's wondering how or if others have issues with simply feeling overwhelmed with when they want to be doing with what they want to be doing in their practice, either self-practice or practice for animals or practice for her, students and clients, and the churn of normal day life that just saps so much of her time. She said, I guess ultimately it's finding the balance of doing versus being, which sounds great intellectually, but not sure how to achieve in the real day of limited time and competing priorities. Managing a practice for clients and for associated projects takes a great deal of time not actually spent practicing. I continually feel behind, drained, and using lots of mental energy trying to stay in the precepts, which are the cornerstone of our life, while also feeling I'm not doing enough. I'm interested in what others use as their daily go-to meditation or practice to help them not shortchange their soul's needs while also trying to manage the needs of life and their activities within Reiki practice and for others. So I thought this was a really great question because it covered so much. And I think that it speaks to all of us at some point in our life. Now, obviously, Sharice is working, I'm working. So there's a different type of overwhelm that comes with that, as opposed to you can be retired, right? But that doesn't mean you don't experience overwhelm. You can still experience overwhelm even if you don't have as much to do as, like, let's say Charisse, who's obviously doing so much in her life. I know that she's working with a legal aid for animals as well. So I think that this is something that we really need to dig into. And please unmute yourself if you have a comment or want to say. But I just want to start with saying, feeling overwhelmed when you're like, let's say for me, when I was going to the shelter in Silicon Valley, I had to drive like 40 minutes. I worked at a very high-paced, high-stressed law firm. And I was also doing Sarah. So there was a lot going on for me that would make me feel a bit overwhelmed about life and about just, am I doing enough, right? There's this whole thing. And my son was living with us, and I had a husband at that time. And, and it's life, right? You have this balance of all these different things that you have to do and that you want to do, right? Going to the shelter is something I wanted to do. Oh, and also teaching classes. So there's so much going on. It's easy to then say, oh my gosh, I'm not doing anything right. Because, right, when you've got all these different things and you're trying to put 100% into everything, you can't. You have to say, okay, well, I can give this 20%, this 20%. You can't give 100% sometimes to everything. So one of the things that helped me was having boundaries. And that's really important because we want to help everyone. We want to be there for everyone, but we can't. And we really have to step back and decide, okay, what is truly important for me and what can I let go of? So for me, what was truly important for me was going to the shelter. That was really important because I was teaching classes at that shelter also. So it was really important for me to create a strong bonded relationship with that shelter. Also, being present at home was really important to me, but also doing a good job at my work. But what happens is when you step back and ask yourself, what can I let go of, right? Well, initially, your ego says, "Ah, nothing. You can't let go of anything. Oh my God, you've got to do everything," right? That's your ego talking to you, but that's not the reality. You do not have to do everything. And so we have to get through that initial, oh my gosh, you have to do everything, and go, no, and talk to yourself as you would talk to a friend, right? Over the retreat, somebody said this about treating yourself kindly, and you would never treat your best friend the way you treat yourself. So, what is the advice you would give your best friend if your best friend were living your life, right? And that's kind of a really good way of looking at it, like taking yourself away from being so attached to an outcome or how you feel things should be, and step back and just ask yourself, what can I let go of? And what absolutely can I not let go of? And if you can't, if you're like, I can't let go of anything, then really truly look at what you're doing. So for me, what I could let go of was over helping at work. Like, right? Like I would pick up pieces that other people were dropping. And it's like, Leah, just let them drop. And I hate that. Oh my God, I'm such a control freak, right? I hate that. Do not let anything drop. Juggle everything you can. I remember one time I went to this therapist about my husband and about life and everything. And she goes, it's like you were holding two chairs, and on those chairs are all these plates. And then on top of those plates, there's teacups, and then there's spinning wheels on top. She's like, that's you. She's like, you have to let go of things. And it's true. You have to decide, okay, what can I let go of? And for me, it was stop jumping in. Same with my son, stop jumping in. You don't have to do everything. I don't have to make dinner every night. I can make plans. I could change things, right? I could set my family up and say, look, these are the days I'm going to be really busy, and these are the days I'm going to commit 100% to you. So there's a way to do this where you don't have to give up everything, but you start to really focus on what's important and what do you want to put that time to. So I know for Charisse, she's feeling really overwhelmed because she has students, she has clients, there's a lot going on. Sometimes we have to pull back from how many students or how many clients we have. And of course, we want to help everyone. And I remember when I first started learning animal Reiki, and you're at the shelter and you talk to people and nobody has money or they don't want to pay for it, but you also want to help animals, right? So you were like, okay, well, I'll just do it because I really want to help animals. Don't do distant treatments. You don't have to be there for everybody because it's like a Sui said, if you can't heal yourself, you can't help anyone, right? And so we have to look at ourselves and we have to say, where am I feeling depleted? And how can I turn this around? And so please, like, unmute yourself if you have something to comment on. And so let me see here. And then Beth said, oh yeah, thank you. I feel so much the same way. Yeah, there's just not enough. And like Beth is retired, but because you're retired or you're home, yes, Rebecca, just one second. Because you're retired doesn't mean you're not busy. You don't have a lot going on. You don't have a lot of engagements. It, what it means is you need to look at what you're doing. Oh, Beth isn't retired. So there you go. She is working. So yeah, it's a lot of balancing. And then Mary Ellen said, this past June, when I was hospitalized at Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center, I received Reiki from volunteers at that time. At this time, I am in the process of becoming a Reiki volunteer. That's wonderful, Mary Lynn. That is great. Don't volunteer too much and get burnt out. Just teasing. So Rebecca, yes, I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I was going to say that, as well as feeling overwhelmed by so many things that we've got going on, there's also, I find as well, like, when you're thinking of letting things go, there's a kind of guilt attached to it as well, because you know, I look at the things that I get overwhelmed by, and then I think, well, there's so many more people worse off than me. So, in other positions, and then I feel guilty for being overwhelmed, and that's
But let's
like
stop,
another
let's
layer
unpack
to it.
that for a minute, right? So what happens? We feel guilty. And it's like, then we have to stop and say to ourselves, and this is so important, Rebecca, I'm doing enough. It's okay. I'm doing enough. I'm doing what I can. Like, yeah, we can look at other people's lives. Sometimes when I'm on, and I don't know, Rebecca, if this is for you too, sometimes when I'm on social media and I see these women in like their 30s and they're doing like they have a farm and they have kids and they make their own clothes and they go, and I'm just like, oh my God, right? There's always someone who's going to be able to do more than you, and there are people who are doing less, but we're all doing with what we have. Okay, so yes, please continue because that was like a, oh no, don't do that to yourself.
Yeah, and I think that when it comes to sort of like letting go of things, you definitely have to, take a look at exactly what it is that you really do want to focus on. Like for me, I had a full-time job. I go to the cat sanctuary here in Gibraltar. Uh, I've also set up my own Reiki business as well, human Reiki as well. But then I've got like my home time where I, cook and clean and all that, and I like to study a lot as well. So I manage a lot of things. I don't have children, which is another thing I feel guilty about, because I'm not, I don't have that to worry about where so many other people do. But in the end, I was lucky enough that I was able to let go a few hours of my actual regular job so that I could focus on other things. I was in a position where financially I was, I'm not well off, but my partner has a good job, so we decided, I could do a few less hours so that I could focus on, the Reiki business. So, that was good. But looking after yourself when you're doing things like your meditations or whatever it is that you do is like consistency is the key to it. That's what I found, and that's what helped me. Consistency, whether it means like setting up a regular time during the day, in morning or evening, before you go to bed, or whenever you can throughout the day, even if it's only 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Consistency.
And I love that. And I think that that's because without our practice, without that consistency, and even it's like you don't even have to do 15 minutes because I know sometimes for me, I hate to exercise and like 15 minutes is like, oh my God. But 2 minutes, just the precepts, right? In the morning and at night, 3 times each. That alone gives us that inner strength where we can make good decisions like you were making, right? Like, okay, what can I let go? Can I let go of some of these clients? Can I you're right. You're lucky you're in a position where you can make those decisions, but we all are in a position where we can let go of something. And I know that you recently had a medical thing where you were kind of put on bed rest and everything, and that also makes you stop and think, wow, the world does still tick, even though I am,
Yeah,
recuperating, right?
yeah. I kind of, you know, just like you were saying about your job when you were doing all these things, and like I don't like to be the person who lets things go in the job. If there's a project going on as well, I was on like I always wanted to make sure everything was okay, and I would be like overseeing like I used to do like I was a financial administration job, and I train everybody, and I know that they're all trained, and I know that they can all do their job. But I'm always like, oh, are they doing it properly, kind of thing. And I had to sort of like really let that go, and not being there as well for 6 weeks because I've had surgery. I'm like, are they going to be okay? But I just have to trust that they're doing okay, and just not let it be something that I focus on, because that's taking my mind away from my own recovery.
Oh,
So,
I love that. I love that. You're right. It's taking it away. And then also something really important that you just said was, you know, when we micromanage, whether it's at work or our children or our relatives or whoever, our friends, um, we are not letting them learn the lessons that they need to learn. So, like at work, they need to make a mistake because that's how you learn. But as a mother and being like a coworker, you're like, oh, I don't want there to be a mistake made. But the reality is sometimes a mistake has to be made. And that way it can be caught and never repeated, right? And that's so hard, but it's how we learn, it's how we grow. And, that's how you grew, that's how I grew. So we can't take other people's lessons away from them. And I think that's another really great point. Thank you so much, Rebecca. I'm so glad you opened that up because we all deal with this, right? I mean, it's something very real to us. And like you're learning at work, work is still going on without you, right? I think the biggest lesson for me was I it's so funny because three different jobs that I have been in, they've all three said I'm like the connective tissue, like I connect everybody, I'm da 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 da. And you think the first time I left the first job like that, you think everything's going to fall apart. How can they possibly function without me? And not only do they function, they don't even reach out and call and say, "Oh, do you know where this is?" They figure it out, right? And it's such a blow to your ego because you think, oh my gosh, I thought the world was going to fall apart because I'm not there. But it doesn't. And it's just our ego. And it's such a great reminder. And I'm so glad you brought that up because we have to remind ourselves the world isn't on my shoulders, just my world, right? And everyone else is going to do their best or they're not. And that's okay. But yeah, thank you so much, Rebecca. I'm so glad you really grateful that you did that and so glad you opened that up because it opened up a whole nother thing. And this is why I love the community. So thank you. So I'll go over here to Cara has got, go ahead, Cara.
Hi all. Hi Leah.
Hey.
Kara, Tucson, Arizona. And I just wanted to share, this is so timely. It's like so up
Hey.
for me in all the ways. I am I have a full-time restorative justice role. I am a practitioner. I'm an activist. I am a part-time grief and death coach and do quite a bit of volunteering around that. I caregive my live-in 82-year-old mother and my dog just had a medical emergency on Animal Reiki Day. I woke up at 2 a.m. to her vomiting. It turns out she was bit by a kissing bug and went into anaphylactic shock. It was very serious.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
just want to share the way I responded to it because as you could tell, I also just want to say the world is a lot. A
Yes.
lot. So it's everything.
Right.
And so I felt already completely depleted. I wasn't sleeping that night. It was 2 a.m. I heard her. She was convulsing. It was terrible. And I had a 20-minute drive to the emergency vet. And I just felt myself going into absolute dysregulation and knew that was not going to be supportive to either of us. So for the whole car ride, I just chanted out loud Shokure the whole ride, just
Mm,
trying. And, it regulated my system. It hopefully supported her nervous system.
absolutely.
We were at the hospital for about 12 to 14 hours and we got her stable. They actually gave me a room to be in with her so I didn't have to leave her. And it happened to be, it was funny because I came to the session here the week before and I was like, World Animal Reiki Day. I won't be with a lot of animals, but I can't wait to like see what animals come. And here I am in the middle of
Oh my gosh. Be
like
careful what you wish
this
for.
100%. And it happened to be a really stressful day for them. An animal had just coded. There was
Mm,
a lot going on. And so I was like, I'm just going to expand my Reiki practice out, not just to my dog, Mitzi, but also to everyone else, all the other animals here. And that got me through the day. Like it was. And so what I'm finding is I would love to be doing more animal Reiki practice. I would love it to be more of my work, but as you might have noticed, I don't really have the time for that right now.
right.
So what I've been doing is at night, I am just doing like 15 to 20 minutes before bed for both of us. And then if someone reaches out needing that support for their pet, I include them in my practice.
Yeah.
And it's been so powerful. Like, I didn't think it would be a big thing, but I've been getting comments back like, oh my God, what did you do last night? Like, what happened? And it's like serving both the purpose of showing up for myself, regulating my
Yeah.
own nervous system, and then being able to, from that place, provide something for other people. And I think right now that's all I can do, and that's
Yeah.
okay, because
Yes.
there's not anything else that I can say no to. But I just felt so grateful for that opportunity. It was an awful, terrible thing. We're still not in the
Right.
clear.
Right.
There's other possibilities of her having Chagas disease, and we're figuring that out. But Just that taking whatever moment I can, and even if it's a short walk with her around the block, saying the precepts while I'm walking, that has been deeply helpful to just find those little brief moments when normally my perfectionism is you have to do a lot of it often, all the time, or it's nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm just kind of getting that lesson because that's all I got. I don't have anything else to do.
I love that. I'm so glad you came on to share that because I love that. It doesn't have to be perfect or long or, like I remember when I was first learning Reiki or animal Reiki and, studying with Franz and, he was like, "Oh, I meditate an hour every day, every morning." And I was just like, "Wow." And it puts a lot of pressure on you, right? Like especially when you have a busy day, a busy life like what you have, and you're also caregiving. But we do what we can, and I love that you've decided, okay, this is what I can do, and this is what I'm going to do to help myself, my dog, and any other animals that need that support. But also, Kara, keeping the precepts with you throughout the day, like even when you're with your mother, even when you're at work, because that's what I would do. I would just have those precepts in front of me, just as a reminder, even though I knew them, just as a trigger, an anchor to bring me back into that space. Because in that space of the precepts, we have humility, right? We let go of our ego that, oh, only we can do this, or, oh, we have to do this. No, you don't. And then be kind to yourself, right? So all of those things. So I'm so grateful to you for coming on and sharing that because that's a really important lesson. And I hope your sweet baby girl is okay. And yeah, everybody, I hope we can collectively send some really positive thoughts to Kara and her dog for
Thank
her
you.
well-being. So
I
thank
think
you.
what I want to just also highlight is
Yes.
I am learning that it doesn't have to be a lot. Like it's actually more powerful when I am resourced and give what I can than
Yes.
when I try to give beyond what I'm capable of. And I didn't think that was true until I tested it out. So just sharing that for anyone that might be
No, I think that's a really
helpful
good
for.
point, right? Because we think, okay, I'll do this long session, but if you're tired, you're depleted, it's really not a great session. But if you go, okay, I've got 10 minutes where I can really be focused and feel good, like you did, you set this time. It's like I have 15 to 20 minutes. That's my time, not trying to push it to 30 or 45 minutes. Oh, Mary Lynn wants to know, what's your dog's name? Oh, thank you for putting that, Mitzi. So putting that in the chat. But yeah, so I love how you created that like mini boundary for yourself, right? And that is so important. We've got to take care of ourselves because no one else is going to do that, right? So thank you so much. I love this. So everyone, for those of you who might have just joined, we're just kind of going over what happens when we have so much going on in our lives and all the different ways that we can bring peace and balance to our lives without making ourselves feel bad because we're not doing enough, like what Rebecca was pointing out. It's like, you start to feel guilty that you could be doing more. And I love what Kara just said. It's about do what you can, find what you can and commit to that, right? You don't have to do, in fact, you don't have to do anything. Going to the shelter, if you only have 20 minutes on a Saturday to go to the shelter, just go for 20 minutes. You don't have to go for hours and hours, or you don't have to do this. Go and do what you can. Or if you can't, just do a little mini meditation. Even doing the precepts, and I talked about this at the retreat, how the precepts really changed my life. And just just that teeny tiny little bit of the precepts, repeating them in the morning 3 times when you wake up, repeating them 3 times at night before you go to sleep. They get into your body, into your system. They create a foundation so that when things happen and you're starting to feel overwhelmed, you can stop and say, okay, what do I absolutely have to get done today? And what can I let go? Right. And it doesn't mean you have to let go of it forever. You could maybe let go of it until tomorrow or the next day. And because I've been so overwhelmed, like I work, anywhere from 11 to 13 hours a day in my regular job. And then I still have Sarah, right? And I've got to write emails and I've got it. And then we had the retreat and things were getting really, really heavy for me. it's like, okay, what can I let go of? Oh, well, there's certain things I can let go of at work. I can ask other people to take it. There's certain things that I'm just, tell people, hey, I'm not going to be able to get back to you for a while, right? And I'm so grateful to all the people who email me and are patient with me. And sometimes it's a week before I get back. But I really appreciate that because I see everything, I acknowledge everything in my mind, but sometimes doing it is another thing. But I also know that I have to protect my energy. I only have so much time in a day. I only have so much energy in a day. One thing that's really helped me too, and I hope it helps you, and I didn't even put this on my things, but this is where these beautiful conversations help us, is that I always tell me myself, I have enough time. I have enough time to get this done. I have enough time to do this. There's enough time for me to do what I need to do today. And I always start my day that way. There is because you open your eyes and you're like, oh my gosh, if you're like me, it's like I've got this, right? Thanks, Rebecca. And thanks, Karen. It's you have these things, right? And so your mind starts spiraling, and it's like, no, all is well. I have plenty of time to do everything. And the trick is too, it's like if you're doing something, you're like, wow, this is going to take a lot more time than I thought, you can say, okay, is this something I absolutely have to get done today? Can I finish this tomorrow? Can I finish? Have your things that you need to get done and then do those things. And then the rest of the time you do it. Like, so for a caregiver, she's so busy. She's got her mother, she's got her work, she's got her volunteering. What do I have today to give to this? And start making yourself more aware and ending your day with, I am so proud of everything I got done. And I just recently started doing that, telling myself, oh God, you did so much today. Because inevitably, every day, I would end my day saying, "Oh, I should have done more. Oh, I didn't get this done. I didn't get that." It's okay. I did what I could. It's not like I'm laying around eating bonbons and then going, oh, I didn't get that done. I'm busy, right? But by beating myself up at the end of the day, I really wasn't, thank you, Cindy, I really wasn't doing myself any favors. In fact, I was creating a worse situation because I'm beating myself down. So now what am I doing? I'm depleting my energy that I do have. But by telling myself, wow, I am so happy with what I got done. Wow, I did a lot today, then it makes it so much better for me and I feel so much more comforted. So I just want to share that with you. And if there's anyone else that wants to share about what they're doing with depletion or any challenges they have about depletion, I would really love to hear that. And Karen says, I notice when I'm centered and balanced, I can accomplish much more. And even looking at the clock, it seems like time runs slower. I know, my God, that just happened to me the other morning, Karen. I woke up and it seemed like my morning was just flowing and I had plenty of time for everything and it was just amazing. And then Anne said, "Hey Anne, first time here. Well, welcome. Can't turn your video on, no worries at all." And yeah, of course you can share. I'm going to let Beth go ahead and talk, and then if you just want to unmute Anne when Beth stops, that would be fantastic. So Beth, I'll turn it over to you and then
Oh,
we'll open it up to Anne.
hi, everybody. Well, it's interesting because I'm resitting Reiki 2, and the precepts in Reiki 2 include that be true to myself and my way of being.
Yes.
And that got left in another class, or just was like, oh, where'd it go? Oh, it's back. And when that first came up, I thought it was selfish. But now it's like having that back, it's like that's like what it's all about. It's like it's
Yes.
to be true and honest to myself.
Yes.
And the energy of the universe is what's going to carry me through. And
Yes.
to ask for that in the morning, it's like, okay, what are my priorities today?
Yes.
And the universe is going to carry me through that. I'm the one with my energy fighting it.
Yes. Oh,
I,
great point, Beth. I love that.
it's my thinking that gets me in trouble.
Yes.
And if I stay in that gratitude and that love, even though, I mean, I've got piles all over and I'm never used to be that way. Never. And it's like, okay, all right, what's in front of me? This is my priority at the moment. And take that with gratitude, and the spirit of all is well has
Yeah.
been changing my life so much, and living in the gratitude and just being in that compassion that Reiki has taught me about, and all is well. You know, when I hear Kathleen's voice saying all is well. And then the other thing is at night, I have this little saying, I don't remember where I got it, but it's right next to my light when I turn it off, and it says, celebrate this day.
Yes.
And that means so much to me. So the overwhelm is all about me, not
Yes.
about the universal energy that I live in. The rest of it, it's like my aunt used to say, it's still going to be there when you're 6 feet under.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Absolutely. Well, yeah, I mean, I love so much of what you're saying, but we have to remind ourselves. So there's a couple points. The all is well is so powerful. And I love, you are safe, you are loved, all is well. Say it to yourself, I am safe, I am loved, all is well, right? We have to say these things to ourselves, knowing that the universe is going to take care of you, right? Just knowing that all is well. It's everything's gonna, my favorite line, everything always works out for me. So when I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling tired, I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, this isn't gonna get done or something's gonna happen, everything always works out for me. Everything always works out for me, right? And I just really love how at the end you say celebrate this day, because that has been scientifically proven that when we celebrate, we switch something in our brains. We give ourselves that dopamine and we get excited, right? We go, yeah, I did. And so you're like encouraging yourself. So that when tomorrow comes, I've got this. I can do this. So ending your day with that, Beth, is so powerful. I love that you shared that, because that is such a key secret ingredient, right? Having that celebration about the day. I mean, we're so blessed. We had this day. We were able to do what we had to do this day. I'm in a bed right now. I'm safe. Celebrate this day. I love that. Thank you so much. And I loved what you said too, going back to the beginning, when you said, like, be true to your way and your being felt selfish. Isn't that so sad that a lot of us feel that way? It's like, oh, well, that doesn't seem very Zen or very Reiki-like if, it's like, be true to my way, my being. But really, we have to, because our way and our being affects everybody else, and it affects the world that we live in, and it affects each other, right? Which is why I'm so happy for these sessions, because these sessions help me not feel depleted. These sessions remind me that there's people out there who are loving, kind, and generous, right? And together we can change what's happening around us. So thank you, Beth. I love it. And I just love your hair so much. You look so good. I know I always say that, but I just love it. So I know that I know that we had Anne wanted to come on and say something. And while Anne's coming on, I wanted to say that Mary Ellen said, from a nature book club reading, Wintering: The Power of Rest and Retreat in Difficult Times by Catherine May offers encouragement and understanding life as cyclical, not linear, transforming the hardships that arise before the ushering of a season. I love that. Thank you so much. Um, and so let's see if Anne has unmuted. And Anne, you could just start talking. Let's see if she's able to do that. Uh, so I don't know. Let me see if I can always go towards her. Oh, I don't see her on. I don't think I see her on. Let's see. Oh, there's Anne. Let me ask to unmute here.
Yeah.
There you go, Anne.
I'm sorry. I have a hard time with this. Anyways, I can't. I couldn't put the video on, then I couldn't unmute myself. So I'm sorry.
No
Um,
worries.
um,
Welcome. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and I'm glad to be here too. I've had a rough couple of months, and I have studied Reiki, but I haven't used it a whole lot, to be honest with you. And I'm a really, really big animal lover, and um, I'm sorry, I'm probably going to cry.
Oh,
Um, I lost my dog in December.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Um, and I also lost my job in October. So, yeah, it's been a rough couple months.
Hmm.
Um, but my job was, I'm a nurse, and
Hmm.
I've been a nurse for 38 years. I'm an LVN. And the last year or so of working where I was working was really toxic. Um, I was really toxic environment, and I ended up getting written up and getting fired, and I've never had that happen before. And
Yeah.
to be honest with you, I'm glad I'm not there anymore. And
Yeah.
it was difficult, and it's difficult now for me not having a job, but I really feel like I need this time for myself because I'm just really burned out.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm really struggling with some grief. Um,
Absolutely.
you know, um, I've always been a caregiver. I took care of my mom also for the last 5 years of her life, and she passed away when she was 94, and she was living with me. And so I understand all of that. Um, but she helped me take care of my son, so it was like a full circle thing. So, but I just feel like I need this time right now
Yeah.
to re-energize. And
Yeah. Absolutely.
um, I feel like my dog is still here with me, and I've lost animals before, but I've never had this feeling before. And
Oh.
I just get this feeling like
What's your
she
what's your dog's name, Anne?
her name is Mia.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, well, I know everyone here on the call is just energetically supporting you right now. I'm so glad you came. I'm so glad you're sharing this because this is the perfect group to share this with. And I know people listening in later on are going to be sending you love and surrounding you and Mia with love and light. Of course, you feel Mia. Um, it's they don't our physical bodies, we think we're so tied to them and we think, okay, when an animal leaves, sometimes but they're gone, right? But they're not. They are around us, and you're so blessed that she's giving you those signs that she's still here, she's still there, and I'm sure she's there for you to support you during this difficult time because you're having a lot of guilt, it sounds like, from not having a job and needing time for yourself. And you absolutely need time for yourself. I had a similar situation. I mean, I'm not a nurse, but I had a toxic job, and the way it ended wasn't great. And I didn't want to get a job right away. And I was luckily in a really good position because I got a large severance that I didn't have to. But I also had to go on disability because it was a traumatic situation, right? When you have something like that with a job, and especially when your job is tied to your identity, like yours is, right? You're a nurse. um, we have to allow ourselves to get help and support because you are going through post-traumatic stress disorder, right? And so just giving yourself that time is really important, and not feeling guilt about it, knowing that you deserve to be cared for. You've dedicated your entire life to caring for others. It's time for you to be cared for, and whether that's just energetically, whether it's just from yourself, but you deserve this. And so just really allowing yourself to to accept that you deserve to be supported. You deserve to have time to yourself. You deserve to be able to heal from this toxic situation that you went through, and also through losing your animal. And what came up for me when you said you lost your job in October and then Mia passed in December, it was really nice that you didn't have a job so that you could be there with Mia and so that you can mourn her in a way,
Yeah.
that really honors her, and not feeling guilt about that, because losing an animal is like losing a child, and nobody would ever say, oh, you shouldn't, mourn losing a child. But sometimes people's attitude when animals pass is a little harsher. So just really allowing yourself that space to mourn Mia, to mourn, what you've lost with her, to mourn your job, and to also give yourself that healing so that you can start feeling excited for what is next for you. Because when we're in that place of, oh, I feel guilty, or oh, I can't get on top of this, we then can't hear what's trying to get come to us, right? Because everything happens for a reason and everything always works out for you. And so something good will come out of this with the job situation, something so much better than you can anticipate. But we have to be open to that, right?
Right.
We have to be open to the unexpected. And for your Reiki practice, it's sometimes really hard to do Reiki practice, especially depending on how you were taught, or what you resonated with and what you didn't resonate, or if you have questions, which is why we have this support group here. But if you learned the precepts, like I was saying earlier, the precepts are magical. They can turn your life around, and they're so simple, yet the simplicity is where the power is. And during the retreat, I talked about the precepts and I talked about the history. And one of the things that not everybody knows is the precepts weren't Reiki at all. They were actually created during a time in Japan when people were going through a lot of things like what we're going through: epidemics, poverty, political upheaval, changes within the, not in, well, environmental changes, yes, but also just like growing as humanity grows, right? When we level up, there's always changes, it's like with computers, AI, and all these different things. It was the same for Japan. They were getting flooded with Western things that were much more advanced, much more modern than they were used to. So these precepts, just for today or for today only: do not anger, do not worry, be honest in your work, which means basically be honest about who you are, like what Beth was saying, be true to your way and your being. Be grateful. And this is what Asui added: be grateful. And then be kind. And the precept was just be kind, but we have to be kind to ourselves first, and really be kind and caring to ourselves before we can be kind and caring to others. So I really encourage you, Anne, to practice the precepts. And all you got to do is just say them 3 times in the morning and 3 times at night. And keep
Okay.
coming to these sessions, because this community is beautiful. And we all have empathy and compassion for what you're going through, because we've all been there. Definitely with the animal part, but even with the job part, many of us can identify with what you're going through. And all of us have empathy and compassion to you for this. And you're getting lots of hearts. And I really appreciate the community for doing that. But, I hope that you feel some support here, Anne.
I do. And I know that you're all like-minded people and good-hearted people. And I really appreciate that. I'm not familiar with the precepts. I don't think I've heard of them before. I am in recovery, and a lot of it sounds familiar as far as
Yeah.
some of the things in recovery, which, I try to be a good person. And some of the things that I went through with my coworkers, I just couldn't believe that some of the people in caregiving could be as mean and
Yeah.
toxic as they were, but they are. And it really is, it's very disappointing to me because,
Yeah.
I just feel like, how can these people be in caregiving and have, and treat people this way? But I have to let it go because,
Everybody's on their own path,
yeah,
and it's not your path, and it's shocking, right? I mean, I think
yeah,
all of us here, some of the things that are happening in the world around us are shocking because of
right,
the lack of compassion. And I think the takeaway here is that we can only worry and be concerned about ourselves and what light we're sharing, because our light can heal and change things. So we can't worry about what other people are doing necessarily. We have to really dig in and go, oh, if I'm noticing this, then maybe there's something in me that needs to be healed, right?
right.
And so just using those precepts. So I'll email you the precepts
Okay,
because I have you signed in, and so I'll have your email address, and I
okay.
can email those to you. It might not be today, it might be tomorrow or Friday, but I will
That's fine.
to you,
Uh-huh.
and I'll just tell you how to use them again. And yeah, and so thank you so much. And again,
You're
our
welcome.
condolences about Mia, but be open to her being there with you.
I will.
Talk to her and relate to her exactly as if she were right next to you. I know when Shrek passed in May, he was like almost 18. It's a pit bull. I felt him I mean, I still feel him. I still feel him really strongly. I feel him he was such a protector. And so it's comforting to know that they don't really leave you.
Right.
And she's right there next to you. So talk to her. And
I
thank you so
will.
much, Anne. I really,
Thank you for letting me share too. I appreciate it.
oh,
And I'm
absolutely. We're happy
okay.
to be here for you.
All right. Thank you. You can, I don't want to take up any more of your time, but thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem at all. And we're just happy you could be here with us.
Thank you. I'll come again.
Good. So
Uh,
I'm going to put you on mute real fast. So Karen says, I notice when I'm centered and balanced, I can accomplish much more. And even looking at the clock, it seems like time runs slower. I think I already read that one, but yes. And I love that. And then the other one was, oh, Karen said, celebrate this day. I love that. Beth, so this is what I love about this community, because it's not just me talking like I'm what do they call it, a sage on the stage. It's all of us together learning and growing. And yes, I bring up the topics, but you can see how rich it gets because of the conversations we have and how and what we learn. And then Mary Lynn said, before the Christmas holiday, I bought a few cards at a local Hallmark store. Written on the store's bag is life is a special occasion. Yes, that's very cool, Mary Lynn. I love that because life is a special occasion and we need to treat it like that. And then Amanda said, thinking of you, Anne. Rebecca said, sending you lots of love, Anne. Barbara Finelli said, I lost sound. I can no longer hear anyone, so I will log off and watch the replay. Oh, okay. Thank you, Barbara, for being here. And then Mary Lynn said to Anne, offering you loving energy, take good care of yourself. The universe heard you. And Claudia says, we've got you, Anne. And Amanda reemphasized your dog is there with you. She's helping you. Chris gave you a heart. And then Emily said, Anne may wish to check out, oh, Gail Pope's Brighthaven Caregiver Academy to help with their loss. Yes, thank you so much. I will, when I send the precepts, I'll also send the Brighthaven link because you may not be familiar with them and they're such a great resource. Thank you so much, Emily, for bringing that up. And then Amanda said, Anne, many thanks for coming today. You are welcome and are supported by me and all here. The Sarah community are very special people. Yes, thank you. And then Claudia said, Anne, may I recommend the book Trauma Stewardship by Lipsky and Vandernoot. Thank you so much, Claudia, for that recommendation. And Beth said, thank you, Anne, for sharing with us. Yes, thank you so much. And you can tell too, Anne's going through a different type of depletion, right? A depletion that is so heavy that it's very hard to get on top of. And I know we're coming to time and I do want to do a meditation for us, but I just want to say that when we're feeling depleted, especially when you are in a place like what Anne's in, right, where it's really heavy, and like Charisse, it's very heavy and it feels impossible to get on top of. There's lots of things you can do. And one of the things that I love doing is looking to animals. What do animals do when they're depleted? They rest, they drink water, they eat. Hello, you got to eat, people. You got to eat good stuff too, not just like we're overwhelmed and busy. We just grab like an energy bar or something. No, eat something fresh, an apple, a carrot, something that's going to bring you back to the earth, something that's going to ground you. And then, like, well, for animals, especially like wolves, like let's say in the wild or any animals that are out in the wild, they can self-regulate through what's out in nature, right? They can eat grass. They can drink water that has algae in it to get that chloroform, right? We need to be thinking of those things too for ourselves. How can we replenish ourselves with either minerals or electrolytes, right? Like drink emergency, something that's going to replenish you, something that's going to give back to your body because you can't keep running on empty. And animals show us that they don't. Now, the really funny thing is, I don't know if you've been following the monks and their dog. Well, this is what happens with animals and people. So if you notice when I think his name's Aloki, when he got injured, he didn't want to recover. He didn't want to rest. He wanted to be walking with those monks, right? That was his job too. He didn't want to rest and recover. Now, had he been out in the wild, he would have rested and recovered. But when you're around people so much, right? Well, they're pushing themselves. I need to push myself. And thankfully the monks were like, no, you have to be cared for now. You're caring for us. We're going to care for you. And I loved that. I loved that so much because it was a great example of even how animals, when they're around us too much, they don't replenish. So we have to be that mirror for not only other people, but for nature to be in that flow of nature. Nature is always like, and I'm sorry, and I can't remember who said this about the cyclical pathway, but it's true. Oh, Mary Ellen, life is cyclical, right? There's a time where we are like in summer, everything's going, right? And you have lots of energy and you only need like 6 hours of sleep a night. And then you start to go into fall and you need a little bit more, like 7 to 8 hours, and you start to wind down. And then winter comes and you really need like 8 to 10 hours of sleep during winter to replenish your body. And then you go dormant, and then spring comes and you start to get less sleep again and you start to get more motivated, right? And you start to wake up, and then summer comes, and it's all very cyclical. But it's like that in our day too. In your early morning, you can, if that's your time, like let's say early morning like me, it's my time. Get a lot done in the morning, but then start to, kind of slow down in the afternoon, start to build up to my evening. I replenish, and then I guess it's really more like spring when I wake up. So spring and then summer, and then by like around 4 o'clock, right? Okay, start to slow down. You're gonna make dinner, you're gonna do stuff. You're not really in that high energy mode anymore. And now you go to sleep, and that's your dormant period. And then you wake up and you do it again. So even our bodies and our days are cyclical. And if we can honor that, we can help fight depletion. So I want to just say really quickly some tips that I do to combat depletion, and then we'll do a quick meditation. So obviously rest and sleep. One thing that animals do that you need to do is play. Play with your animals. Play out in nature. Play peekaboo with, whatever is out there, the squirrels or whatever. Or when I go out in the mornings, I get to see the crows. And I just absolutely love seeing my crows because there's certain crows that know me and come right up to me. And they'll say, "Hey," because sometimes I don't see them, and they'll come, or they'll fly super low in front of me and stop so that I stop and see them. So it's this really wonderful, invigorating, joyful moment with my crows. And it's only like 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever I have time for with them. And they follow me because I'm on my walk, and so they're following me, waiting for food. And I have my 5 core crows, and then I have a bigger group. And sometimes I have to be careful because it's like when they're getting ready to roost. And like what last night, it was like there was like 60 crows, and I'm like, okay, I got to get out of here because but it gives you joy, right? You're thinking, oh my gosh, this makes me joyful. Animals do the same thing. Social interaction. Coming here is a social interaction. Whether or not you're speaking, you're coming here and you're getting that interaction and you're getting that replenishment. And animals do that too. Self-care, grooming, right? You can take a bath, but sometimes It's like sometimes I don't even have time for like a bath, or like people go, "Oh, you should go get a massage." And I'm like, "Really? Like when am I going to go get a massage?" But here's what I do for myself. I just did this the other night. I went down to the little bodega and I got myself, and I don't eat sugar or candy, and I got myself a Reese's peanut butter cup because that's what I used to eat when I was a kid. And I ate it and I loved it, right? You have to love it. Like what Beth was saying, like the celebration. When I was eating it, I was like, this is so good. I'm so grateful I did this for myself, right? And acknowledging that you're doing something for yourself, or watching a rom-com, right? Sometimes I'm just like, I'm not going to do anything tonight. I'm going to watch something that makes me happy, makes me laugh. Listening to comedy, I talk about this all the time. I love to laugh. My family loves to laugh. Even in dark times, we still laugh because laughter is really healing. So, doing little things like that for yourself and drinking water. You've got to drink water. You've got to stay hydrated because hydration, yeah, Rebecca, drink that water. You've got to stay hydrated because lack of water, like when you're dehydrated, it makes you irritable, it cramps up your body, it makes you tired. So you're adding to your depletion by not drinking water. And then Chris said, we may be by ourselves, but we are never alone and we are always loved. Yes, I love that. Oh my gosh. I love that so much, Chris. Oh, and then Anne said, thank you for everyone for your support. Thank you for the comments. She really appreciates it. And then, yeah, Beth said, I have to remember to have friends to reach out to. We are never alone. Yes, you do. Like we all have somebody we can reach out to, even if it's our animal, right? You just talk to your animal, talk to yourself, talk to a loved one that's passed. Just talk, but make sure you're reaching out, even if you're reaching out on social media. You don't want to talk to anybody. Just reaching out and putting a positive comment on someone's post. That's something I like to do. I don't like to go on social media, but I do like to see what my friends are doing. And I always like to go, oh my gosh, that's so great, right? Giving someone encouragement and love can really help you too. And so one of the things that we want to do too, before I leave and before we get to our meditation here, I just want to remind you, when you're making lists for yourself, this has been proven over and over and over. You're only going to get about 3 things done a day, 3 of your top things. So just leave it at 3 things. Your very top 3 things, put those down. When you do one, celebrate. Go, oh my gosh, yes, I did that. Thank you. Every time you do something, go, yes, yes, I did it. And I'm telling you, it will be easier and easier, and your day will flow easier. So, let's do a meditation and we're just going to give back to ourselves. So we always bring ourselves into gasho at our heart. And you can close your eyes or leave your eyes open. I like to close my eyes just to close out all outside distractions. And we just want to take some deep breaths here, breathing in through our nose, pulling our breath deep into our belly or as far as you can. And then slowly releasing our breath out our mouth and making sure our out breath is just slightly longer than our in breath. And do 2 more of those breaths at your own pace, always making sure to pull that breath as far as you can within your body, and then to slowly release it out your mouth. And by doing so, by doing this breath, we're stimulating our parasympathetic nervous system. We're reminding our bodies that it's safe to be calm, that it's safe to be peaceful. And now let us set our intent that we're open to receive whatever it is that we need most at this moment in time. And that we're open to holding space for all those who need it, like Kelly, Rebecca on her healing journey, anyone else who is dealing with difficulties or needs extra support. And like our sweet new friend Anne here, just putting everyone in this beautiful circle. And whenever you're ready, bring your hands face up or face down in your lap. And just focus on your breath. Focus on breathing in through your nose. Feel that breath coming down the center line of your body and touching your belly. And then follow your breath back up and out your mouth or your nose, whichever is most comfortable. And now As you breathe in, I want you to imagine your breath is touching a light at your belly. And on the out breath, that light starts to expand throughout your body. Breathing in, we touch our inner light, and breathing out, we expand our inner light. With every breath in and out, envision the light within you growing stronger and brighter. And the light within you can be white, or it can be gold, or pink, or blue, or purple. Whatever color you see, this is your own unique, beautiful healing light. And as you breathe in and out, imagine every cell of your being illuminated in light. And the light is so bright, it starts to surround you like the sun. You become this beautiful ball of light. Now, this is your inner light. It is who you truly are. It is your true self, your true being. It is the light of love, the light of compassion, the light of joy, the light of peace. And as you breathe in and out, envision yourself as this beautiful ball of light, and you grow brighter and brighter and stronger and wider. Envision your light rays going out everywhere around you. And just let yourself soak into this beautiful feeling of being the light. Reminding yourself that you are joy, you are love, you are compassion, and you are peace. Your light easily shines out all around the globe. There is no limit to your energy and to your light. Your light brings comfort in dark places. Your light brings love. Your light brings support. Your light enriches nature, enriches Mother Earth. As feel yourself becoming lighter and stronger, you are limitless. And as you are in this expanded space, I want you to remember that you are worthy of peace. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of ease. And I'd like you to repeat this mantra to yourself. I am safe. I am loved. All is well. I am safe. I am loved. All is well. I am safe. I am loved. All is well. And allow yourself to feel that safety within your body. Feel the lightness of this beautiful inner light that is you. There is no limit to your light. There is no limit to your energy. There is no limit to you. And always remember that anything is possible, and to expect the unexpected in a very good way. And let us bring our hands into Gasho at our heart and give thanks to ourselves for being here. And I give thanks to all of you for being here and for sharing your beautiful, loving energy. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring yourself back. And before I go, I just want to say one thing to Anne, because as we were in that meditation, Anne, you don't have to wait for the precepts. You can actually say the mantra I am safe. I am loved. All is well. And then for any animals or anybody in your life, you can say, you are safe. You are loved. All is well. It's something that we do all the time here in these sessions, but as part of our animal Reiki practice. And it is incredibly powerful. So I encourage you to please practice that mantra. You are safe. You are loved. All is well. I am safe. I am loved. All is well. And then Rebecca said before we went into the meditation, she loves her list and crossing things out, right? Oh my gosh, isn't that the best feeling in the world when you can just cross things out and put, when it comes to your list too, if you find yourself doing a lot of things in the day, like laundry, dishes, things you have to do, but aren't necessarily like bigger things, put those on your little list. Have them like as your little sub list and scratch those off because that is really empowering. Thank you so much, Rebecca. That I love because I do the same. And then Karen says, I like the idea of focusing on three things. I tend to put too much on my list. Yes. And we self-sabotage, right? We set ourselves up for failure and we don't need to do that. And Karen said, thank you. Amanda, yes. I thank you all so much for coming and thank you. Claudia, thanks. Another amazing meeting. I know you guys make these meetings so amazing. And thank you. Rebecca, thank you so much for this session. Absolutely. And then Beth, thank you for your glowing light and compassion. Thank you, right? I am the mirror to all of you. And that's why I love these. Dawn says, thank you all and beautiful meditation. And Mary Lynn said, a wonderful meeting. So thank you all so much. Next week, you guys, okay, two things coming up this week. One, Valentine's Day. And you know how much I love Valentine's Day. It is my favorite day of the year. You do not, I am single. It doesn't matter. I do not care. I am going to wake up. It is my day. It is my jam. I am going to be spreading the love everywhere because I love, love, love Valentine's Day. It is a day dedicated to love. Hello. So whether you have somebody or not, you love nature, you love your animals, you love your friends, right? I love all of you. We have so much love to give, and just remember to share that love. If you're on Facebook, if you're on social media, share your love, okay? The other thing is the fire horse is coming on the 17th. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. So on Wednesday, we're going to talk about, it's going to be the day after the fire horse, and that's okay. And I'll put some tips in the recap email for you for celebrating and getting ready for the fire horse. But we'll talk more about the fire horse, what that means for us, and how that's going to influence what we're doing with animals and what we're doing with each other. And I am beyond excited. So much is happening. Also, Fire Horse Day is Mardi Gras and it's something else too. So it's like this huge, huge day all around. So be sure to celebrate in some way, give gratitude to the horses, but be excited for what comes next. So thank you all. Oh, it's 1:11 here. Great time to end. Thank you all so much. I will see you next week and happy Valentine's Day. Bye.